Hi and welcome to our class. So glad you could make it. So my name's Beth Barlow. I'm sometimes your tutor and sometimes I'm the sidekick to the guest tutor. So now you've started the video, you won't have to rewind and stop and start. All the breaks are built in and all the times for you to have a little go at each of the activities. So what will happen is the tutor will demo the activity like they would do in a normal class, and then you can go off and give it a little go. At the end of each activity there'll be a buzzer, and that's just kind of to bring everyone back together. So if you find that you have completed the activity, feel free to have a little chat amongst yourselves. There's probably going to be comments just below me here, so use that facility. If it's the live class, also the tutor will be here, so that's an added bonus of kind of lots of online tutorials, is that the tutor's here, so do pick their brains, show them the kind of things that you've completed, tell them what you're pleased with, what you've struggled with, sort of, and get some tips off them. So that's why they're here. That's a bonus. And if you find that you are a little bit slower and you like to take your time over things, do kind of try and join us and go on to the next activity. One of the kind of key things that we're hoping of these classes is they'll give a feeling of people coming together and actually doing classes together, rather than you all sort of sat separately doing your own tutorials. So yeah, do kind of join us on the task, and then if you like to spend a little bit more time, you can always redo the session at a later date, so the videos will remain online so you can have another look at those.
Hi everybody, my name's Jane and I'm going to show you how to do something really fantastic and cool and exciting today. Yes, we are going to be doing special effects makeup. Yay! And this is so cool because you can do this yourself with things that you already have at home. So brilliant. Today we are going to be doing a burn. And can I just tell you that we're going to do it on the hand. That's the easiest place to do it. And we're not going to do it on the face. But the hand is good, and if you really like doing it, then you can also then perhaps do it on your knee or leg or your arm or your foot. Anyway, enough of me, let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to need red, black and yellow face paint if you've got it. If you haven't got face paint, that's not a problem. Instead of red, we can use red lipstick. If you've used up all your red lipstick, then that's not a problem either. We just use acrylic paint or kids paint. Any water-soluble paint will do. And what I've done, I've just squeezed the paint onto a little palette here, which I've made out of a bit of cereal packet. So the first thing you need to do is get a hand. So I'm going to use my own hand. But because most of you won't have done this before, it's better to use somebody else's hand. So make sure you've got permission to use the other person's hand. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you different techniques using different materials. So I'm going to start by using the red lipstick. So I'm going to just draw a small section onto my hand. With special effects makeup, it's like any craft. It takes time and patience and practice. So when you start off doing this, if you think, oh no, I've made a right mess, then don't worry, because you can wipe it off and start again. So nobody is going to be an expert in it if they haven't done it before. So I'm doing this with the red lipstick, and then I'm just blending the edges. Another way of doing this, if you've used up all your red lipstick, you can use red face paint. So you have a little pot of water and dip your finger in it like that, and then you can use that instead. If you haven't got red face paint or lipstick, then just use some acrylic or water-soluble paint. As I say, I've put mine on a little palette, so what I do is just dip my finger in, like so. So we've got all different materials that we can use. Now, you're probably thinking, now, what about these two bits here? And that would be a very good question, because those bits are going to be blisters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a bit of this paint, and I'm just going to squirt it right on. But if you've not done this before, then I suggest that you squirt a bit on your palette. Now there's me saying that, but it's blocked up. So I'm going to go to my palette. There we go. And there, that looks good, doesn't it? And put a bit of yellow there. If you've got yellow face paint, brilliant, you can use that. If you haven't got any yellow at all, don't worry, you can just leave these blank, and that will be perfectly fine. So that's the first bit that you need to do, and when you've done that, I will show you the next bit.
this old familiar room. Streetlights hide the night. Starlight fills this room. These days are hard in times of trouble. The morning sun breaks to the dawn of a new day. Can I take another hard week? Could I run a little faster? These days are hard in times of trouble. Sat watching satellites fall at your feet, and I am so tired that I cannot sleep. Would you stay with me? Will you be my star across the river? Cold wind sunset at the end of a long day. Could I push a little harder? Regrets won't last forever. These days are hard in times of trouble. Sat watching satellites fall at your feet, and I am so tired that I cannot sleep. Would you stay with me? Will you be my star? Sat watching satellites fall at your feet. And I am so tired that I cannot sleep. Would you stay with me? Will you be my star-crossed
Welcome back, guys. So next bit, you will need some tissue or toilet paper. You don't need very much, so what I'm going to do here is just rip a little bit off like that. Now this bit is tricky and a lot of people find it really fiddly. I mean, I've been doing this for years and I still find it fiddly. So what you want to do is separate the two pieces if you are using toilet paper. If you didn't know this, these actually come in two pieces and you want to rip it so you just end up with one, so it's nice and thin. That is a fiddle. When we don't use scissors for this, because what we want is our edges to be ripped and shredded so it's going to look like burnt skin. So what you want to do, you want to look at the wound and make this, say, 1/2 centimetre smaller all the way around than what you've just done. If you watch this video, then it's easier to watch than for me to explain. So that's a little bit big, so I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. This is the bit where people get a bit frustrated sometimes. So if you get frustrated, don't worry, it's perfectly natural at this point. So yeah, that'll do for me. So I'm going to put that one there. And now you're going to need the hair gel. This is green. Preferably have clear hair gel, but you don't have to. If you haven't got hair gel, then I'm sure you've got a bit of hand sanitizer left over. Actually, I'm just going to use a wet wipe here because I'm a little bit messy. So wet wipes are always good for when you're doing special effects makeup. If you haven't got wet wipe, don't worry. You can use a dishcloth or a J-cloth or a damp flannel. Do people still use flannels these days? I don't know. I certainly do. Right. So get your hand and you just get a dollop of hair gel. If it's hair gel from a tube, then you just squirt it on. And what we're going to do is put a dollop of gel onto the yellow bits. And these will look like 3D blisters. It's a bit cold when you put it on and some people are a bit shocked. But that's fine. Okay. If I just turn my hand that way, can you see they're a little bit 3D? Okay. I'm just going to wipe my finger and get the little bit of tissue that you so carefully separated and tore. Gently press it down around the gel and magic, the blisters will start coming through. Now this is a very delicate, it's very delicate and quite tricky to do. So I've got a cotton bud here and I'm just going to really gently press the tissue down around the blisters. Don't touch the blisters, just get it sitting on the wound. If this goes wrong and you end up with a complete and utter mess, don't worry, you can start again. There's no hurry. Actually, the longer you take on this, the better the results.
Once we get to walk upon this earth, twice we get to make a mistake and learn. 3 times is enough to realize you're strong. and for me, live happy here on. 'Cause when I'm 99 and I'm looking back on my life, I wanna know I made it all that I could have. No, I made some bad decisions, but they made me wiser. And I smile and roll my eyes, think back to all the beautiful times I had, and know I made every second count. 'Cause we're all faced with choices, and we might choose wrong. It's a warpath of consequences and lessons learned. But if you hide away at risk of failing, then there'll be no sunshine to light the road. 'Cause when you're 99 and you're looking back on your life, you wanna know you made it all that you could have. Know you made some bad decisions, but they made you wiser. And you smile and roll your eyes, think back to all the beautiful times you've had, and know you made every second count. Second count.
Hi guys, so this is the next section, and for this you will need PVA glue. Now I've got mine in a nice little bottle, but you don't need that in a bottle. You could have it in a little cup, except that's water, but you know what I'm saying. So this bit's tricky, so you need a lot of patience for this, and if it doesn't quite succeed, don't worry. So I'm just going to squirt some PVA glue, and being careful not to touch the blisters. And what you want this on the tissue paper. Now, what I like to do is just use my finger for this and very, very gently just stroke the glue onto the tissue. And again, you need a lot of patience and a very delicate touch for this. Some people get on better with a cotton bud, like this. They find it a lot easier. And if the tissue rips when you're doing it, don't worry, that will just add to the effect. I'm putting it on quite thick. You don't need to put it on this thick. So I'm just going to wipe a little bit off there. This is all trial and error. So that's how you learn, is trial and error. That's it. Yeah, so I put it on a bit thick. So you don't need to put it on this thick. Looking good, looking good. So while it's I just need to put that little bit there. So while it's drying, what you can do is get a cocktail stick and rip some of it very gently. I don't know if you can see. Just rip it so it there like that. So it's ripped, burnt skin. I'm going to do it here as well. So just taking a little bit of tissue off. Okay. Now, the next bit, in order for this to dry, you need a lot of puff. And basically what that means is you've got to blow on it. Keep blowing on it till it dries. Or if you run out of puff, then you can flap it with your other hand like this, or get a couple of other people to flap it for you. And if you think, well, actually, I want to do it now, I want it to be done now, well, one way to get it done quicker is to use a hairdryer. If you do use a hairdryer, what you need to do is get someone else to use a hairdryer if it's on your hand. And what they do is they get the hairdryer, and I'll just show you that bit. Okay, so if you want to speed up the drying process, you can use a hairdryer like this. So the person doing the hair drying has got the hairdryer in one hand and the injury in the other, and that's so they can monitor how hot the hairdryer is, and if it's too hot they can feel it themselves and then they can pull it away. Obviously this isn't on, we don't have a silent hairdryer, this is just to demonstrate.
Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, before I first met you I was lonesome. But then you came inside, dear, my heart grew light, and this old world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you do to me. By mere Shane, let me explain. By mere Shane means that you're grand. By mere Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. I could say Bella, Bella, even Zevundaba. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. And I've tried to explain by mere Mr. Shane. So kiss me and say you'll understand. By mere Mr. Shane. You've heard it all before, but let me try to explain. By mere Mr. Shane means that you're grand. By mere Mr. Shane. Such an old refrain, and yet I should explain. It means I am begging for your hand. I could say Bella, Bella, even sehr wunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. And I've tried to explain by mere Mr. Shane. So kiss me and say you'll understand. I could say Bella, Bella, even sehr wunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. And I've tried to explain by mere Mr. Shane. So kiss me and say you'll understand. Just kiss me and say you'll understand.
Hi everybody, welcome back. I've been using a hairdryer on this and it's taken about between 5 and 10 minutes to get this dry. If it's a little bit tacky, that's fine. I'm going to show you something really cool now. So if you want to, you can get a cocktail stick and you can very gently slide it into the blister and pop it like that. These look looking a bit green, but that's because the hair gel was green, but that's not a problem. You don't have to pop these. If you've done a few, you could just pop maybe half of them or one of them. It's up to you. Now, the next bit, you can use your face paint or other paint. I'm going to use the other paint to show you this bit. So, you can use a cotton bud, but I personally like to use my finger for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to add little bits of red paint. But we're not going to cover the whole thing, just a few dabs here and there. Oh, a bit of blisters come off, but that's fine. I'll just stick it back there. Right, if you don't want to use a cotton bud or your finger, then what you can do, you can just get one of these household sponges and you can just cut a little bit off and you can make that into a little dabber. So that's what I'm going to do with, I've got a little pot of water. This bit takes a little bit of skill and practice, but you'll be fine. So I'm going to put some black and I'm going to put it on very, very lightly. And I'm just going to add, actually I'm going to use my finger for this, a tiny bit of water. And you just hardly touch the wound, do it really gently. And this is to look like smoky, charred skin. And what you could do, you could practice this separately on somebody else's hand.
We gotta get going, where are we going, what are we gonna do? We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there, who will be there, what'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. We're on our way, pack up your pack, and if we stay, we won't come back. How can we go? We don't have a dime, but we're going and we're gonna have a happy time. gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. Now someone said he'd just come back from somewhere, a friend of mine that I don't even know. He told me that it's very close to nowhere. If that's the case, that's the place we all should go. We gotta get going, where are we going, what are we gonna do? We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there, who will be there, what'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. I'll take a train.
You take a train.
You take a boat.
I'll take a boat.
You take a plane.
I'll take a plane.
You ride a goat.
You ride the goat.
Oh, we don't care. We'll either walk or climb, but we'll get there and we're gonna have a happy time. Quanta la gusta, 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 quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. Now someone said he'd just come back from somewhere and picked a few petunias in the snow. He told me that it's very close to nowhere. If that's the case, that's the place we all should go. We gotta get going, where are we going, what are we gonna see? We're off to see somebody who's on his way to me. Gonna go your way, I'll go my way, wanna make a little bet? We'll all meet in the country, they haven't found us yet. We're on our way,
We're on our way.
pack up your pack.
Pack up your pack.
And if we stay, we won't come back.
We won't come back.
How can we go? We don't have a dime, but we're going and we're gonna have a happy, 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 happy. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, gonna have a happy time.
Boom, boom. Baby. Boom, boom. Baby. Boom boom. Baby.
Now, I hope you've enjoyed yourself today, and hopefully I might be able to bring you another similar video. You can wear this for quite a long time, and if you have it on the back of your hand, there's less chance of it being knocked when you're doing something. But if you want to get it off, all you do is this. You can scrape it off. Actually, that looks like more exposed skin underneath. So actually, you could add this to the wound if you wanted, because sometimes when skin burns, it burns in different layers, because our skin is made of, I think it's about 7 different layers, I'm not sure. Yeah, so yeah, you could do this. Even more realistic. So, if you want to take the whole thing off, you just peel it off and then give it a good wipe with a wet wipe. And if it's a little bit stained, then have a good shower or wash your hands thoroughly. And we all know how to do that. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope you have fun, and I'll be online to answer any questions.
And just to say thank you to you for coming along, and hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to support us to make more content, then please do consider becoming a Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com and type in Beth Barlow, you should find us there. The money helps us to continue to make videos like this, that everyone can enjoy them for free, and it also helps us to pay artists.
Once we get to walk upon this earth, twice we get to make a mistake and learn. 3 times is enough to realize you're stronger than all of your doubts. And for me, live your days like every second